Hi, and welcome to TV My Husband Hates. I'm Kat Sims.
And I'm Reagan Kempton.
And we are reality TV addicts.
Addicts, aficionados.
Ooh, I like that. Experts.
Experts.
Basically, we know our shit when it comes to reality TV.
100%. Hello, and welcome to another episode of TV My Husband Hates. How you doing this week, Kat?
I'm doing okay. I feel like this week, they talked a lot about, I don't know if they did in the US, but in the UK when they were doing lockdown, they talked a lot about lockdown fatigue. I'm there, and I feel like I've not just got lockdown fatigue, I've got everything fatigue. Like, I've got Zoom call fatigue, I've got living with everybody 24 hours a day, 7 days a week fatigue, I've got fucking shitty Wi-Fi fatigue. Like, I feel like I'm in that week where I hope it passes and I get my mojo back, but I'm over it. I know we're all doing it for the right reasons, but it's okay for me to say
totally
I'm fucking over it.
I think everybody's over it. I mean, here in the U.S., they've started, some states have been opening up, which I'm of two minds of. One, I'm just like, can we just have a federal, everybody in agreement? Yeah. But at the same time, states look so different in population and major cities that there are some states where there just aren't very many cases because they're very rural and very non-populated. So social distancing is kind of their norm just because there's not a lot of people, like Wyoming and, things like that. So it's oh no, states do have to have kind of their own deal, but I don't know. We're going to probably just stay inside until summer and just chalk that up, and then we'll see how it goes, because I don't know. I kind of just can't be bothered to go back to normal and then have to go back inside. That scares me.
That's my worst fear, that they lift the lockdown early and then all of a sudden everybody's back to school, and I feel and then we have to go back into it. I feel like I'd rather that we stuck at
just
this
stay
for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
While I'm in the groove.
I agree.
There's rumors that our kids are going to start going back to school in this month at some point towards the end of the month, which, let me tell you,
I'm so jealous.
I know. That, for me, is the perfect scenario. They have to go to school and I have to stay home. I'm actually getting a little bit of goosebumps thinking about it. That's a dream.
That's crazy, because 100% our schools are shut down for the rest of the year. I mean, granted, we end at the end of this month anyways, so it's not a huge
going
difference.
Back would kind of be disruptive anyway.
It'd be hugely disruptive. However, I've got the kids kind of enrolled in some summer stuff starting in July, so the little one can kind of get back into the rhythm of actually going to school, because the little one has taken to staying home. He never wants to go back to school ever again. And I can't let that happen. For here, there are some, I've seen some articles about talking about how school won't start back on time. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord.
Listen, day at a time. As my mum would say, she'd say, don't meet trouble halfway, which means until you know for sure, there's no point worrying about it.
I love your mom's isms. The amount of times that I've used, what we haven't got, we'll do without. I use it favorite. Always.
My other favorite is if she sees somebody and they're quite skinny, she'll be like, oh, she's not as far through as a kipper. No idea what that means. I mean, I don't know if kippers are known for being particularly skinny, but she does come out with some of the best phrases. I keep saying every time she has loads, and we can never remember. So every time she says it, we're we need to start writing it down.
Or audio note her and then just put them all together. Jimmy could make a song of Mama,
I love that.
Mama KF sayings, which I think would be brilliant.
Well, Jimmy's actually made a song of Bo, because Bo suddenly really got into singing, and she's actually making up worryingly cool songs, lyrics. But she did, so occasionally when I bored and whatever, Jimmy's I'll just take her up and we'll record some shit. So he's recorded her going something about being a DJ, but then my favorite lyric of all time is her, she goes like this: how does it feel when you're burning? How does it feel when you're burning? She made it up entirely by herself.
Amazing.
We were it's a bit dark, but it's brilliant.
But it works.
Anyway, he's remixed it into a track. We'll have to play it one day. It's absolutely brilliant.
That sounds amazing. Oh, that's so lovely. He can do those really cool creative things with them.
I know. I mean, it is great. It'd be great if we could still, work and earn some money. But
Yeah.
if we can't, then at least we can record our kids singing.
Hey,
dark,
you could just
sadistic
start
songs.
turning into like crazy stage parents and turn
I'm
Bo
already there.
into. It's like the
I
next
am there.
Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, Billy had ballet class this morning on Zoom. They do really, really well. She was like off, wandering off to go for a wee 7 times, needed water. I was like, you don't half turn up for this stuff. Like, you turn up 100%, you work hard, and then when you're done, you're done. But if you said you're going to do it, you do it. Jimmy's like, I'm like, no.
No.
She committed. She's going to do it.
Right.
Anyway,
It's like
so
crying
I'm
in the
there.
corner. Her toes are all bloody because you've made her do ballet for 5 hours.
She spends an hour skipping around the room. That's what it is. Fucking hell.
That's amazing.
Jesus. My heart bleeds.
All right. Well,
so we're down to 6 shows because finally,
the Real Housewives of Atlanta has ended.
Jesus Christ. I feel like that went on
Real
longer than COVID-19.
I feel like that was a real marathon of shows. Like, I mean, it went on for 22 weeks, even longer because there was like space in between.
Oh gosh, it's just so tedious. I'm so pleased it's over. When I realized that the show this week was like the unseen footage, I sent you the set. I was like, hang on, we don't normally do this. Does this mean I don't have to watch Atlanta? Scratch that shit.
Yeah, no, I never watch the unseen footage. I don't really see the point.
Me
It's like, I've already watched the show. I don't want to sit through like the show plus other stuff, especially for that franchise this year. Like, it can't happen. But I am sad because we're losing. 3 shows have ended this week. So we've got the finale of Family Karma, the finale of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which kind of came out of nowhere, and the finale of Shahs of Sunset. So I think we're losing 2 of our favorite shows this week.
Well, I think the Kardashians wasn't intended to be a finale as much as it was interrupted by COVID.
That makes sense.
So I think they just had to take a pause to reassess how they were going to film it, what they were going to do. So I think we've still got half the season left.
Yeah, it comes back in September.
Oh, we have to wait that long?
Yeah, it's not coming back till September. So
God, imagine
who
if
knows?
We're still in lockdown by September.
Shut your dirty mouth.
Fair enough. I'll do just that. So, are we going to kick off with Family Karma?
Yeah, we will. But just a quick other update. $1 Million Listing LA does start this week. So we'll be adding it the next show. It starts May the 5th. So we will have one to add in, but we lose 3. So the podcast will be getting shorter, or we will just fill it with more chat.
And also the other thing that we should really talk about is that it's a bit of housekeeping, but you'll hear this. Finally, our website is up and running. We have taken the time during lockdown to figure out, well, not to figure it out, because we sort of knew what we were doing, but to actually do it. And it's up and running. There's a blog on there. You can listen to the episodes on there. There's a ton of stuff about us on there. I mean, you may be interested, you may not. But go and check it out. Have a look, see what you can do, and you can contact us via there as well. We are also in the process of setting up a Patreon page because the kids need shoes. So we don't earn anything from this podcast, like nothing. Like not even like we get some money in, but we spend it on the podcast. We don't get any money in. So we love doing it, but obviously, if you love us doing it, then we would love it if you could find it in your hearts to kind of help us fund it a little bit. So I guess we're going to come up with some cool stuff that you can get.
Absolutely, because we're not going to ask you money for nothing. I mean, in addition to the podcast that we are already doing, we'll also do some other cool shit to like reward you for helping us. So we're coming up with a list of ideas for that. And that'll be up and running. Also, if you haven't checked it out, our YouTube page is up and running with like the newest episodes. So like last week's recording is up. This week's recording will go up this weekend. So if you want to watch us,
knock yourself out.
That's where we are.
tvmyhusbandhates.com.
Yeah.
Do it. All right, let's move on. Let's get on with Family Karma. And we had finally, this was the season finale. We ended with Vishal and Rich's. Forgotten. Rich's. It's not unusual for me to forget names. Engagement party. That, I have to say, he pulled it off.
He pulled it off. Like, I think we did a poll last week, and it was I feel like it was kind of 50-50 on whether or not he was going to be able to really pull it off. It was amazing. He did a fabulous job, even with like weather shit coming up and things having to be changed. They all looked amazing. Everybody was happy. Everybody was drinking and dancing. Well done, Vishal. Well done.
Even Loopy Lopa.
Even
found
Lopa.
it in her heart. She dug deep and she found it in her heart to say to Vishal that he'd done a good job. They even had a cuddle.
Had a cuddle. Maybe the relationship is moving on.
Well, how long do you reckon that's going to last?
You know, I think honestly, if Vishal keeps stepping up and like being kind of the traditional man in the relationship, I think that goes a long way with Lopa, because I actually think a lot of her insecurities are more about him taking care of Richa versus his weird quirkiness.
I think you're right. I think it is kind of a tradition, but I don't think it's as much taken care of. I think she wants her to marry somebody wealthy. Like, yes, partly to take care of her, but I think she's pretty aware that Richa can take care of herself. I think it's a status thing, and I do think there is something about Vishal that is just a little unnervingly goofy.
Well,
like, it is a bit
that's
weird.
what I mean. That's what I mean by taking care of. Like, not necessarily like taking care of her feelings, which obviously he'll do. I mean, like, in their society, take care of his wife. And she wants to make sure he's got that status.
Yeah, and I think it's that. I don't actually think she's worried about whether he can take care of Richa because of Richa. I think he's worried about whether because of the way it looks. Do you know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
You know, we did ask whether, because she's been asking whether it's reasonable for, like, she's been asking what he earns.
Yeah.
And I was unsure about whether that was reasonable or not. Like, for my money, I would say no, because I mean, I don't think I would be very uncomfortable if my dad was like, so Jimmy, how much did you earn this year?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think if like my parents ever had, I don't think my parents ever had that conversation with my husband, but I think it's more because like they knew what he did. So they kind of had a ballpark in their head.
Yeah. I mean, your husband, yeah, we all know that your husband, he's doing
so,
well.
Like, you know, I think they had an idea, and my parents don't really, I mean, I'm not going to say they don't care, but I guess they're kind of like Richa's mom. Like, they know I'll be fine. Like, money, like, that's just who I am. Like, I will always be doing something that brings something in or whatever. So, like, I don't think they cared for, like, that. I think they just wanted, coming from, like, a single-parent household, I think they wanted to make sure that I could have different choices than my mom did about, like, what I wanted to do in terms of kids. I think that's what it all broke down to. But I don't think they ever asked. Like, that would be tacky.
Yeah, and I think that's what Lopa is.
Southern family.
I get this. It's like just all about the status of
how
that marriage looks. That being said, they do make up. They have a little cuddle. We did ask whether it would last, the harmony. 45% think it will last, and 55% think not a chance.
Ooh, that's pretty close. I'm hoping it will, just for like Richa and Vishal's sake, because like I just think it's irritating when you have to deal with like strife within the family, whether it be from divorce or in-laws not getting along or whatnot. I mean,
on the upside, I feel like if you can afford to spunk 40K on an engagement party, he's probably doing okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're talking about like broke people here. Also, they don't live in the same area, so I in what I picture, and who knows where they'll end up. Maybe Richa will move to Miami and they'll be around his family, and Lopa will just come visit because she lives in Memphis.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Let's hope so. Let's hope she stays in Memphis. She's tricky. The other kind of storyline throughout this episode was Bali and Anushka, because obviously Anushka's leaving for college. And this one kind of really touched me because obviously I've got two girls and I'm sure it's the same with boys. But the sort of saying goodbye to like my kids as they go off to college, as much as I fucking hate them sometimes, like, and I love the idea of having the house to myself, I think like actually it really kind of made me think, I don't think I'm going to be as hard as nails as I think I'm going to be when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'm always torn with this because I think on the one hand, I will be very excited for them to like go and start their life, and me kind of get back to like my life. I don't know if that's fair or not. But also, I have very young kids, so who knows? I mean, I could change my mind in 5 years. Like,
No,
college
I think that's totally
is
fair.
very far away.
I
But
think that's totally fair.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'll feel.
No,
I never.
I mean, I think I'm basing it on Billy going to school because I was always like, oh my god, I'm counting down.
Yeah.
To go to school. God, I can't wait. And then I saw her in that uniform, like walking off along the playground by herself, and I was just like, oh, this is just too much. So I feel like I'll be the same with college. I feel like I'll be like,
I'm
great.
sure you will.
And I will obviously be super excited, and I wanted to spread her wings and go and do it. I'm not going to be that mum that's like, you are not leaving.
Right. Super creepo.
But I did feel for her a little bit. I do think, like, it's the end of an era. I think that's what it is. It changes so much.
Well, and it's also just the two of them, which I think is huge. Like, if it's just one mom and one kid, like, that's your life. And that's who you're used to living with. And I think there's a lot of things kind of tied up in that. I mean, my mom wasn't super sad for me to go. Like, at least in my, like, recollection of when I left, she wasn't. I think she was sadder when my brother left, because then it was like the end of kids being home. He was the
favorite child?
Probably. But he was the youngest. So, like, I think that was like the demarcation of having no more kids at home. I think if you have multiple kids, it'll probably hit you the second when the second one leaves versus the first, because then you have the second one at home. But I don't know. I loved this. I loved how O'Malley handled like the conversation about Bali moving to Louisville, and it was perfect. It was just like, I want you there, but I want you there when you're ready to be there. There's no time limit. And I
agree.
It really was touching.
I thought he really nailed it. And I just think that relationship for me is such a light for everybody else. Like, I think Bali's kind of that, she's that weird in between auntie and young person. And I think a lot of these kids have these like great parents.
Yeah.
But it's relationships that came from a completely different era. I have nothing against arranged marriages. It's also saying, like, for the love of God, maybe that's the way to do it.
Well, it's obviously working if you look like this community that we've seen.
But it's not as realistic now. So I think these kids, in some ways, are kind of like a bit adrift, going, well, how do we, like, it's a different set of rules. And I think Bali's putting out such a great example with O'Malley. Like, yes, he's outside of the culture, but he and her are working on such a healthy relationship. And I think that's a great thing for everybody to see. And I hope that, like, people like Anisha and Monica take stuff from that, because both of them can learn a lot from that relationship.
100%. Like, I think they are the couple goals, other than like the older married people, like the married parents. Cause like, obviously they're all super cute, but you're right. Like they didn't date. Like, that's kind of uncharted territory for them. Whereas I think Bali is really showing kind of the modern relationship. And I love their relationship. 100%. They're the couple goals for me in this show. I love the understanding and like the compassion that they show for each other, and the respect that they show for each other, I think is huge.
I love that, like, O'Malley doesn't fit into the Indian clothes. Like, he gets, like, he can't remember the names, because it's like, it's names that you're not used to, so it's really difficult. You tell me somebody's called Sarah, I remember that I've grown up with that name all my life. But, like, remembering the Indian names isn't as easy. No. And I love that they're having that conversation, those conversations, they're breaking down those boundaries. And I think it's super, super healthy. And I love that Anushka has that. I'm not 100% sure about Bali and Louisville, but maybe that will be fine.
I mean, I kind of think it'll end up being they spend some time in Miami, some time in Louisville, like balancing it out. Because I could see, after like living in Miami for so long, I think the draw of Louisville, like kind of a slower down life occasionally, would be kind of appealing. And also just living with him, right? Like, that's that's why she's moving there. Like, to be with him. I love
that they FaceTime all night together. Like, they wake up with each other. I mean, I think it's a bit mental, but I just love that works for both of them.
Absolutely.
Like, you find the one person in the whole
world
who will
do that with you.
Totally cool with that. I just think, God, that's amazing. Jimmy would be like, I mean, I have to like.
I mean, do you guys do that when he goes on tour?
I have to be like, text him 6 times going, are you there? Do you remember that we exist? Would you like to call? Like, should we FaceTime? He's like, oh, sorry, I was like out getting noodles with the guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
I was
great.
running around Central Park. Sorry.
Yeah, well, fuck off. I just did a PB on my 10K. Oh, great. I can't believe it. I did 10K and fucking cleaning the house. That's what I did. Anyway.
There you go.
And then finally, another relationship to talk about just before we move on from family karma is, of course, Nicholas and Amrit. And I thought this, again, was a super interesting conversation.
I love how much the show has brought up in its like 8 episodes that we've had. I think it's really tapped on a lot of different issues within like kind of the American Indian community combination. And in this, we see Nicholas getting kind of angry at Amrit's mom for calling him his friend, and how she kind of dealt with it and how they dealt with it as a couple. Because I think, like, I totally understand where Amrit's mom was coming from. Like, that's a difficult place to navigate in a community that may not be very open to it. And Nick understands this because he comes from a community that's not very open to it. Like, evangelical Christians are not gay friendly.
Not in general.
Like, they're not. They don't believe in it and whatnot. And while when I was watching it, I did not agree with Nicholas talking to Amrit's mom the way he did about it. Like, I didn't think it was the time or place to really talk to her about it at somebody else's house. But once Nicholas explained where he was coming from, I think I appreciated it a little bit more. What did you think?
I mean, I got where both of them were coming from straight off the bat. Like, I get it, and I feel like he's fought against it at home with the evangelical Christians, and now he feels he has to fight against it here as well. And I think he felt on a personal level he needed to make a stand. That I get. Did he choose the right time and place? No.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Should he have had that conversation with Amrit first? Yes. Could he have tackled it better? But you know what? We all make mistakes, and it was an emotional conversation. He felt like it needed to come out. I get all of that. What I loved, I don't hold that against anybody. You make a mistake, you choose the wrong time or place. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
What I love, though, is the conversation that he went out of his way to have with Amrit's mum at the engagement. And they were both so open to it. And I think the reality is that Nicholas has kind of been cut away from his family to a certain extent since this. And that Amrit's mum welcomed him in, and they had that conversation. She held his hand. That's how conversations happen.
Yeah.
And at the end, she's like, "Have you met my son?" And then I was like, "Oh,
I know.
I think I've been overly emotional. It's been a lot."
No, I think it's a super sweet thing, because also the dad is like, I have 3 sons now. Like,
yeah,
just the growth, the compassion, just, I don't know. I loved everything about that end conversation and where they both came from.
I think the thing I loved the very most was that I think sometimes people are really woke, and we're all really woke woke to a very different extent, obviously, but I think our generation is quite woke, and I think we expect sometimes everybody to be there with us right away, and if you're not, then you're a terrible person, no matter what your generation. And I think actually it's okay for older generations or for people with different backgrounds or cultural experiences to take a little bit longer to come to something. It doesn't mean that they're terrible people. I feel like sometimes people who are really woke don't give people a chance to process something in the time and the way that they need to, and immediately sort of write them off as bigots. I mean, I think there are definitely bigots, and you can tell the difference between that. And I just think this is such a lovely example of that, where somebody just needed a little more time. And I love that Amrit's mum said, "I am fine with this, but I am also aware that there are a lot of people that aren't fine with that, and they are my friends."
Yeah.
And that's okay. It doesn't mean that she can't be friends with those people. She's just, I think, recognizing that some people need a little more time to process this shit.
Well, and she's got to navigate it as well, right? Like, she had to process it, and now she's got to navigate where it stands in the community and how her relationships may change with certain people. And I think she's open to that. I think you've nailed it. You've nailed it. Like, I think we all need to be a little bit more compassionate about letting people grow and educate over time. Like, nothing happens overnight. Like, none of these ideas are new. You know, they've been going on for a while, and I think it's okay to let people catch up and take a beat. Because sometimes you'll have a conversation and people have never thought about it before because it's not their normal reality. It's not their day-to-day struggle. So sometimes people get caught up in their privilege. Like, it's just the way it is, right?
Totally. Well, and also it can take, like, if you're looking at it on a personal level, it can take so long for you to unlearn personal habits. So, like, whether it's that you struggle to be vulnerable, or you struggle to say sorry, or, you know, you have this need to be perfect, whatever it is, like, they're not healthy habits, and it can take so long to unpack that stuff. So if you've also grown up being told that a certain thing is wrong, it's very unreasonable to expect that just like that, you go, oh, okay, now it's right. It takes time to unpack that shit. It doesn't mean that they don't want to. And I think that we could all learn, like you say, by being just a little bit more patient and tolerant of people who are clearly not bigots, but just fucking processing shit.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be compassionate to like someone showing up to somebody's house in like KKK regalia or anything like that. Like you don't have to be compassionate to those fuckers. But you do have to be compassionate to other people who want to grow and learn. And I think that's all, we're all just trying to do our best here, you know, and it will take everybody time to get there. But I love all of the stuff that has come up with family karma. I really hope this show gets picked up again. I'm just in love with it. I'm in love with the people. I'm in love with the messages, and bravo. You need to bring it back for season 2.
Well, before lockdown came in, we were going to get one of my very good friends who's from the Indian community to talk about it. Lockdown has kind of put a spanner in that work, but I feel like once this is over, we should definitely do that and have that conversation.
Yeah, or even have a mini-sode about it, like have her watch it and catch up, and we can just do kind of like a recap about communities. I think that'd be awesome.
Okay. Let's move on to, hands down, my favorite franchise right now, Below Deck Sailing. Yacht.
Yes, BDSY, which is our new name for it. Yeah.
Basically, it's like become our new sex show. It was called #awkward. That was the title of the episode, and I have to say they couldn't have called it anything else because that proposal was the worst.
Like, I have no word. He should not have proposed. Like, nothing about this vacation was heading towards proposal.
If you have to ask somebody desperately if you can borrow a ring to propose to somebody, it's probably not the time to propose.
It's not the time, dude. Like, you could have waited, and it was awkward and uncomfortable for everybody around.
It was really bad. It was like the worst Band-Aid proposal I've ever seen. And it wasn't like, all he needed to do was actually just sit her down for a conversation and say, look, I'm confused. I don't know whether you're into this. Like, that was but what he decided to do was propose almost like as a litmus test to see whether she was into it. But do it in front of everybody, including a ton of cameras. And you know what? Credit to her.
She handled it.
Not just like fucking going, oh shit, yes. Like,
I
don't know if I would have been strong enough with the cameras and the friends and everybody to do what she did. But credit to her, she fucking was like, I think we need to talk.
Yeah. Well, and she didn't like flat out just be like, no, are you crazy either? Like, she handled it really, really well. I'm with you. I probably would have just said yes because it was on TV and then been like, dude, we have to have a conversation.
I definitely would have done. I'm spineless in those fucking.
100%. Like, I don't want to like embarrass this man and like.
Oh god, the whole thing made my sphincter clench. It was just the worst.
Unless I'd had a little bit too much wine that day, then I would not have handled it gracefully at all. I'd been like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, I love watching that Reagan. Like, that Reagan for me is like a great show. But if I'm on the other end of that Reagan, not so great.
No.
It was really awkward. And also, it just made me feel like he was such a pussy wet wuss.
Oh yeah, they're like, I think they broke up after that. That's my prediction for that relationship. Like, dude, we can't be together.
I don't care enough to look it up, but if I did, I'm pretty sure you'd be right.
Fair use.
For some reason, I don't know whether I was drunk when I watched this episode. When we did the pre-production chat, Reagan was like, what about that time? What about Madison at the dinner when she threw a tantrum? I was like, I have absolutely no recollection of that.
Yeah, so there are going to be a few things that Kat does not remember about this show, which I think is now the rest of the show.
Pretty much from now on. Oh no, I remember Adam and Jenna and the flowers.
Yeah. So we see Adam kind of gallivanting off to get Jenna flowers because she hadn't gotten flowers, almost knocked himself out in the process, and pretty much would have ruined the charter had he done that.
But can we just talk about how fucking hard this nails is? Like, if I hit my head on
It
that
was
log,
so loud. The camera picked up the sound of
I
him
would have
knocking
been
himself.
in fucking hospital.
I'm super surprised he didn't knock himself the fuck out.
He didn't
Like,
even
I expected
cry.
him to just drop and,
Me
like,
too.
be out.
Hit the deck. He didn't even cry. I definitely
No.
would have cried.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, he didn't even have a bruise. I was like,
I know.
what is his head made of?
The same thing
Anyways.
as his heart.
Apparently so. That's a bit of a Freudian slip. But yeah,
Wasn't
so he
it,
goes off and gets her the flowers. And he, like, puts them in her room. And he's all excited about it. And then gets really fucked off because she doesn't react the way he thinks she should. And I think that, hands down, is the problem with Adam.
I agree. But I'm going to just stand up
Yeah.
a little bit as devil's avocado here.
Okay.
I think we all know Adam's damage. Like, I don't think Adam's
Yeah.
a bad dude. I think his
No.
bad behavior comes from some sort of damage, hurt, whatever it is.
Yeah. He was broken.
She has previously just said, nobody's ever bought me flowers. I think if anybody bought me flowers, I'd just, like, cry. It would be the most amazing thing. Da-da-da. He goes, do you know what? I really like this girl. I'm going to open up. I'm going to take a chance.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something romantic, which I don't normally do. So I think it's quite a lot for him.
Yeah.
So he goes off, does it, especially doing it on camera. And then she's like, oh, great. Yeah, they're nice. And I think he just feels like he's given a piece of his soul when all she sees is like some fucking dirty beach flowers. Like, and
Yeah.
I totally get that he doesn't have the right to like expect a reaction from her.
Right.
And I think that he's wrong in the way he then kicks off, because I don't think he's doing that self-reflection that I have done for him here.
Right.
But I do think that there is something always beneath the surface going on with Adam that is actually just this quite scared, frightened little boy that just wants fucking
Absolutely.
love and attention.
No, I totally agree. I think Jenna could have handled it better. I think she will have watched the show and been like, holy fuck, like he put a huge amount of effort into doing that, and I feel like a dick. Like, I 100% think that's what she's thinking when she watches this back. I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to get in, like, her headspace. Like, she's been running around, like, taking care of people all day. Like, I don't think it registered with her what he did. So I think, like again, like, both of them are in the wrong on the situation. Yeah. Like, it's so tricky. And it's so hard to, I think, manage people's expectations, but also being true to your feelings and whatever. But he 100% does not handle it correctly in the end. So, like, we'll skip over the Madison stuff for a little bit. So they all go out to dinner. They go back to the boat. Adam and Jenna go into, like, the master cabin. They have sex. And then, like, I didn't write down exactly what she said, but, like, she brought up something and he loses his shit. And he's like, I don't want to talk about this right now. Like, I'm getting angry. And then she was like, but like this is a fairly benign thing. I think you get mad at me because I don't act the way you want me to. And that kind of kicks everything off. So we don't see him storm out at the end of the episode. Sorry for all of you who actually watched this. So I'm kind of recapping it more for that.
Jesus Christ, I've got one fucking job, which is to watch the show.
I mean, you don't. You have like 50 million jobs, but this is one of them. So anyways, like, the show ends with, like, us just hearing them yell behind the master bedroom door. So I think next week we'll kick off with, like, him storming out, and I'm pretty sure this is all over. But
of course he's not. I'm right in thinking he hasn't spoken to her about the flower situation.
No.
So in his mind, he's just internalized all this shit.
Yes.
And then she said something. It's triggered it, and now it's gone bleh with all the anger.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
A full
Well,
day of anger just kind of slowly packed down.
And then why don't you talk about Madison at dinner, who throws a tantrum?
Yeah, she just like, again, I didn't write down what she said because I can't take that detailed of notes. But so at the dinner, I think Madison is feeling really lonely because Parker is gone and she doesn't really have like a boat friend. And then Chris has come on, and Chris and Georgia are like flirting. She's like, oh fuck, like there's another couple. So that essentially leaves her with Byron, which I'd be totally fine with. Byron is a good time.
I think she's won the jackpot, frankly.
Absolutely. Like, just drink, go dancing with Byron, have a great time, because he'll be the fun guy that won't molest you afterwards. Like, he'll just be the straight and narrow dude that you can go have a good time with.
I love that that's the ballpark in there.
I mean,
when we come to Below Deck, it's like, I mean, he's the guy that isn't going to molest you.
Right?
I mean,
he won't date rape you, so you'll be okay.
Oh, to work on a yacht.
Oh man, but instead she is just like really pissed off. She just kind of loses her shit and throws a hissy fit and like storms off. Where Byron is like, you know what? She causes a lot of drama. She craves the attention, but she can't deal with the spotlight, which I thought was like pretty in tune. But I also think she's just fucking sad.
Yeah, I think she's over it. And I mean, remember they're on their penultimate charter, so it's like that thing when you're on tour, because I mean, Jimmy tours, but I used to tour as well. And it doesn't matter how long the tour is. If the tour is 6 months, by like the end of the 5th month, you're done. If the tour is 6 days, by the end of the 5th day, you're done. I think she's just at that point. Like, she's just over it.
Well, and I think she's lost her buddy. And then in this episode, they kind of talk about a few things that, like, when she lost her sister, it was quite a hard thing. Like, she was murdered and, you know, all this stuff. So like, I think Madison is dealing with a lot of shit. And I think that's where all this is coming from. Because ultimately, I think Madison's a great girl. I think she works her ass off. She did an amazing job on that beach party. I love that she like redeemed her beach party self this episode. So I think like I'm willing to give her more of a pass because like I think she's cool.
And then Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, yes. The engagement episode, which I feel we say a lot. I 100% cried. I was so teary.
Love Stacy. Like, I know that she's been a bitch, but there has always, and I think Lisa sees this too, there has always been something ultimately quite special about her. There is, like, you know how some people just have that thing? She has it, and she's ultimately likable. She's whip smart, super funny. And I love that she's found her perfect equal with Beau. Like, anybody
He's
who
amazing.
Knows, he is. Anybody who knows that the perfect proposal is in a cemetery is just, I mean, to be fair, cemeteries in England are very different to cemeteries in LA. That looked like a pretty beautiful place to propose.
Yeah, but I will tell you, like, some cemeteries in England are pretty amazing. Like, Highgate Cemetery is incredible.
But Highgate Cemetery still puts off a real feeling of, like, there's a ton of dead people here.
Yeah,
like, it's quite, like, dark and moody. You didn't get that with the LA. I looked like, let's have a picnic.
I don't think LA does dark and moody. Like, that's not on brand.
No. Fair enough.
But, yeah. This engagement was everything. I'm so happy she let him surprise her. And, like, he stayed strong in this, like, resolute... He will surprise her with this, whether it fucking kills them. He will do it. And I think that's who you need to be with Stassi. Like, I can't fucking budge on this. I want to throw this ring in your face, but like, I'm going to hold back and I'm going to do this right. And like, I just loved it. I love that Lisa threw this like gorgeous dinner party afterwards and flew in, like her family was there and like everything about it was just.
It was perfect.
Perfection.
Of course. Kristen wasn't there. I did think it was weird that they left Kristen's chair. It's like, is it Macbeth where they leave the chair?
I think so.
See, and people think reality TV is only watched by stupid people.
I mean, all of you missed our very scintillating Man Booker Prize chat in our production meeting.
Smart people watch reality TV too.
That's right.
Now it's not going to be Macbeth. It's going to be something else. I'm going to look really stupid. But anyway, they left this like chair of Kristen, and I'm like, Lisa is like the hostess with the mostest. If she knows somebody's not coming, you fucking take that chair away.
Do you think she didn't know until like they got there?
They had the conversation.
Oh, that's right.
With Lala when Lala turns up wearing her nightie and nothing else, and they have the conversation.
But I wonder if the table was already set by then.
But I mean, she's got people like.
That's true.
Take the chair away. It was really awkward seeing it.
Maybe they just left it there for dramatic effect.
Oh, that's right. They are shooting a TV show. I forgot about that. And then of course Carter jumped to Kristen's defense. I'm going to say it. Carter looks like somebody who should be like like those documentaries about people on death row.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he looks like that kind of.
He's such a dick.
Shit person.
He's such a dick.
He's just so unbearable, and it's so toxic, that relationship with him and Kristen. And the fact that
Go ahead. I was gonna say, how the fuck are you gonna text something like that to like one of the nicest men alive? I mean, honestly,
on the day that they just got engaged.
On the day that you know he's proposing, like it's just shitty. It's poor timing. It's tacky. It's fucking gross.
You know why though? Because he didn't have the fucking balls to send it to Stassi.
Oh no, Stassi would have fucking murdered him.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I don't like him at all. That relationship with Kristen is so toxic. It's so bad for Kristen too. I mean, I think she's dating somebody else now, so I think we can safely assume Carter is finally out of the picture.
Yeah, but Kristen just chooses these weird guys. I can't imagine, like, Kristen's never going to choose a beau until she sorts out her shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's always going to need some kind of weird drama fucking crazy guy because that's what validates her. But she just needs a beau, and I mean, not actually beau, but like her version of beau. And
well, you know, I mean,
she works on her own shit.
She had Tom Sandoval, which, you know, I know Tom can be a little douchey, but he's not fucking Carter. Like, he is definitely more on the beau side of the spectrum, and she fucked that all up by fucking Jax.
But that's because she's not working on her own shit. She needs to work on her own shit, and then her beau, her Tom, will come. But right now, she's just not interested in doing it.
No, I mean, she needs to work on herself to get like her girlfriends back and then like be her own complete person for a while before she's going to have a healthy relationship.
Well, and Lala calls it. At the end of the day, like, you've not been at two of your friends' engagements.
Right.
What is the common denominator? It's you. Like, you have to look at yourself.
Yeah, which she doesn't like, and has a cry about it with Brittany when Jax comes over to mow her grass. Literally, not figuratively.
That would be weird.
At least we hope
but
so.
I love he comes over and then the battery dies. That's so Jax. The other thing we have going on, of course, is the softball game between Tom and Sir.
Yeah, and I totally thought Tom was gonna sweep it. We did a poll about it a couple of weeks ago, but they lost to Sir. But I mean, who knew Sheena is like this massive softballer, and Charlie, which I thought was a huge shock. She does not come off.
I can't bear her.
Oh my God. I wanted to like stab her through the screen when she started talking about the first time she tried pasta and it was at the Olive Garden. She's a fucking idiot. I can't abide it. I hope she's not on there next season.
I think I have to say, I don't think it's working. Like, I get that they're trying to inject new blood into it. Really, the only person I want to see is Dana return. Everybody else, I'm not interested in any of these Sir scenes anymore. I want to see Stassi and Beau. I want to see Kristen, Katie, Tom, Schwartz, Ariana, and Tom. That's who I'm interested in. I'm not warming. They haven't casted it well enough for me to make the jump back to Sir.
No, I totally agree. 100%. Also, at the softball game, we do see James apologize to Katie, which I actually was really surprised how real and heartfelt it felt watching it.
I wrote, I'm going to bring up the poll. I said that I nearly knocked my microphone off then. Sorry. I said that I did think that it was genuine. And I did too. I felt like this was him really making an effort to make amends. Now, I do know people in the program, and that step is actually pretty far down.
I was going to say, is it like 9 or 10? It's one of the high ones.
Right up there. And it takes, if you're doing it properly, it takes a little bit of time. Obviously, you've got a TV show to be on, so obviously it's a great time for him to do it. But that aside, I hope he is taking the program seriously.
Well,
But I did feel like it was genuine. And in
I did
fact,
too. And even if it wasn't like a proper amends, like I think
ooh,
he did the right thing by just saying sorry
he
to her
did.
because they were together.
He did. So I polled it and I said, is this really the last apology from James Kennedy to Katie Schwartz? 51% said yes. 49% said
Ooh,
not
that's a
chance.
tight
But you
pull.
know what? When you've been a dick for that long, it doesn't matter how, like, your early
Yeah,
recovery, you've got to earn your chops, and he hasn't earned them yet. But I do think he's earning
he's
it
getting
bit by
there.
bit in my book. He's going in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It made me tear up a little bit. I felt like he's super genuine. I think he's on the right path. I'm really excited to see kind of the new James Kennedy because actually I think he could be quite successful and a really cool dude being sober.
And also he's young. He's young enough to turn it
Yeah.
around. So I'm excited to see good things from James Kennedy. Let's move on to Beverly Hills.
Yeah, let's just go down the road to Beverly Hills.
And we've gone from the most awkward proposal to the most awkward dinner party.
Holy shitballs. My favorite is stoned Mauricio. If I could be anybody at that table, I'd be Mauricio.
I love Mauricio. I love Mauricio and Kyle. I love their relationship. I love the family that they've built. I have a lot of time for both of them. I think that this is probably the worst dinner party they've ever thrown.
Absolutely. I mean, and because there were other people there too. Like, it's not just the housewives. Like, I felt bad for those other people. Like, fucking awkward. Like, I would be so drunk at that table. I would be so
If
drunk.
I was one of the other people, like the friends that was like, come along, I'd be like, this is the best night of my life.
Yeah. And then you get there.
Well, no, I still would have loved it. I would have loved just sitting back, watching the drama unfold.
Yeah.
You know, I would have loved it. Anyway,
That's true.
that aside, I can't imagine Kyle would have loved it. But let's flip back a little bit because I think it's important to talk about the Teddy Sutton Lisa Rinna chat because this is kind of where it all starts. They have dinner together, and I think Sutton, in a very reasonable, calm, kind of light-hearted way, says to Teddy, "Babe, to be honest, your invite kind of sucks. Like, if I'm gonna come, I want to feel like you want me there."
100%. Like, I think she calls it exactly right. Teddy did give a shitty invite. Like, Teddy cannot. I don't know what it is.
Me neither.
But it's just something that's just a disconnect.
I think I actually wrote at some point in my notes something along the lines of, why is Teddy being so fucking... And then I actually wrote, I can't think of the word. Like, I just don't... I know it comes from an insecurity around these girls that I can get, but I just don't understand why she's digging in so deep on this. Like, why she's not just going, do you know, I phrased it badly. I would really love to have you there, and I'm really grateful for your support.
Or just double down and be like, you know what, guys? It's not the right event for you guys to come to. Done. Like, I don't understand her confusion on this issue. I just don't get where she's coming from. Like, and I don't know if she knows what she wants. And maybe that's it. Like, she just doesn't. She's not clear about what she wants from her friends or the group or the show or like she doesn't know how to make it all work together.
Yeah, so this all kind of sets up a little bit of tension between between Sutton and Teddy. Excuse me, I just did a bit. Probably could have got away without announcing it, but anyway.
Probably.
So it sets up a little bit of tension, and then Kyle has her kind of welcome home dinner party, where Lisa Rinna, in her infinite wisdom, suggests that they play the most LA game I've ever heard, which is, to the person to your left, say what you first thought about them and what you think about them now. And I love the way that everybody's taking the piss, going, oh my God, when I met you, I thought you were really pretty. And now that I know you,
you're gorgeous.
I know you're really pretty. Sutton's like, this is bullshit. And
this is where you see the southern side of Sutton come out.
I loved it. Sutton was like, I'm not taking this bullshit. You've asked me to do something. I'm going to fucking do it.
And it's so funny to me because, again, I think last week I mentioned I'm part of a lot of these reality TV groups on Facebook just to kind of see what people are talking about. Everybody fucking hates her. Like, nobody likes Sutton on the show. Everybody thinks she's a massive bitch and whatever. Whereas I came away from this, I was so like, you know what? I quite like her. Like, she's honest. everybody fucking knows Teddy comes off as boring as fuck. Like,
Teddy
we've
is
talked about it on
boring.
the show. Everybody thinks that. Like, yeah, maybe it wasn't nice to say to a pregnant lady's face, but
In front of a
honestly,
load of people at a dining table. Like, I get it, but that was the game.
it also wasn't the end of what she said.
Exactly.
That's all Teddy heard and got really upset. But, like, she went on to explain that her first impression was wrong.
I mean, in Teddy's defense, Teddy sort of says afterwards, it wasn't the boring comment. It was
Yeah.
the comment about, oh my God, and she's pregnant, Lord help us. Like that one, where I
Yeah.
can see that would perhaps be a little offensive.
But let's
at the
be
same
real.
time,
Everybody knows pregnant ladies are the worst.
well, yeah,
I
if
was
you're
pregnant
Teddy
lady.
boring and then you're pregnant Teddy boring, I mean, that's like boring squared. It's like
Yeah.
really boring. So Sutton has a point, but she doesn't leave it there. She goes, and then I
No.
realize actually you're not. You're super interesting. And we all know she's talking out of her ass, but at least
Right.
she's like making it right. You know, it wasn't the right time. I'm sure people there are there that she doesn't, you know, you don't want to be called
Yeah.
boring in front of 15 other people. Like,
Right.
I understand that.
Yeah. But still, like, that was the game.
It was the game, and she is boring. And if she hadn't fucked up so badly with the fucking invitation, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, she wouldn't
No.
have said it. At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, and I'm with you, I think I came away from this episode for the first time going, actually, I don't hate Sutton. I'm not ready
Yeah.
to say that she's
Oh, no, I don't love her.
a
I
nice
don't think
girl.
she's
Yeah.
going to be an
But
OG.
I don't
but
hate her.
I think she brings an interesting dynamic. Like, just like when Erica joined, like, Erica brought an interesting dynamic to the group of ladies. And I think sometimes the group can be a little too LA. And I think Sutton's mixing that up a little bit.
Well, and Erica isn't happy. I think Erica and Sutton do not like each other. And I love Erica and I'll always be Team Erica on this. But Sutton does have this thing. She's like, oh my God, I'm wearing ready to wear. It's like, that's fine.
You're wearing
like,
Dolce and Gabbana ready to wear. Like, fuck off. You're not wearing Target clothes, which is what I'd be wearing. And I'd be fine.
I mean, bitch, I didn't even know there was a difference between like ready to wear and hope. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize there's an option. Is there an
Right.
option? Is there a secret option B that I didn't know about?
Is there like a cheaper option that I could be wearing that I didn't know about?
Apparently there are people who just make you an outfit just for you.
Yeah.
Who
Who knew?
knew?
I mean, Teddy didn't, because they had to explain it to Teddy too, which kind of surprises
she's
me.
boring.
But it also surprised me because her dad is John Cougar Mellencamp. Like, that man has clothes made for him. Fuck off. Don't tell me he doesn't. I don't know.
She's just dull. She's just dull.
But you know who's not dull at this table is Crazy Pants Aaron.
He has gone from last season being super cool fitness husband with Denise, like the down-to-earth guy that she needed after the Sheen shit show,
Yeah.
to like conspiracy theorist, big pharma, anti-warrior. Like, with people following him, they're probably Paps, by the way.
Right.
Or Charlie Sheen's lawyers. Like, it's
Or
probably
anybody
not
just
pharma.
driving in LA.
In that weird car. I mean, there seems to be some weird shift between last season and this season for Denise and Aaron. I feel like there's this weird kind of, you know, those people that like wear tinfoil hats and shit like that. Like, I feel
Paranoid schizophrenics.
that's where they are. Like, that's where they are right now.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Like, the shit he was talking about was just like, I don't know.
I get
love
the
Eric.
impression he was pretty drunk.
I think he was pretty drunk or stoned. I mean, maybe he was smoking weed with Mauricio and got super paranoid. But Denise was feeding into it as well. And I don't know if she was just having too many pain pills at the time because of her hernia surgery. But like, I don't know. I mean, it was some ancient alien shit. Like, do you guys have that show in the UK? There's a show called Ancient Aliens where it's like a bunch of dudes with really crazy hair that talk about conspiracy theories and aliens. It's kind of a cult.
But we might do, but I haven't heard of it.
Well, maybe you should check it out. But yeah, it's just very much that way. Like, everything is a big government conspiracy theory. Like, yeah, everybody's suppressing like all these, you know, helpful things because we want because we want people
fact
to have
that cancer is like, cancer actually comes to, apparently cancer, according to Aaron, actually happens to fight another infection that would kill you immediately, but cancer's actually like saving your life. Like, really?
Yeah. I don't know about this.
I don't know.
I kind of liked him better when he was just the quiet dude where everybody talked about his massive penis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I
here for
prefer
that.
that Aaron.
I'm here for
This
that.
Aaron, I'm not down with. But I bet Mauricio was loving it. Like, how much fun would it be to be stoned and sitting next to that guy? Like, eating his wife's fish because she didn't finish the salmon?
Oh my God. I just love Mauricio. I want to be
Yeah.
married to Mauricio. He's like second on my list of reality TV stars that I would want to shag/marry right now.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Mauricio and Kyle is when she calls him Love Bean. I think that's super gross.
Does she?
Yeah, it makes me gag a little bit.
Oh.
But
I wish you'd not put that in my head because I feel
Yeah.
like now I'm not going to be able to stop myself calling Jimmy my love bean.
excellent. Thank you, Jimmy.
No,
You're welcome, Jimmy.
I just tried it out and it felt
Yeah.
awful. It made me
No,
think,
it's like an instant gag reflex.
Thanks, my love bean. No.
Yeah. No.
Okay. I mean, I'm excited for this episode. We know that the shit's going to hit the fan with
Yeah.
me. So maybe that's what sent Aaron cuckoo. But
I mean,
either
maybe.
way,
We'll see.
who knows?
Maybe that's
Then,
why she went elsewhere, because he went cuckoo. Who knows?
maybe.
Cause, effect? We'll see.
Who knows? Then we move on to the Kardashians.
Christmas with the Kardashians.
Which I have obviously been watching way too much of the Kardashians and ended up spelling Christmas with a K in my notes.
Again, you're very on brand with them, so that
Very,
works.
very on brand. Like Sia, basically I just want to be a Kardashian.
Yeah. I mean, after that Christmas Eve party, who wouldn't? I mean, it was stunning.
It was
Stunning.
amazing.
I normally don't give Courtney a lot of credit, but like her ideas were beautiful.
Yeah,
Like she
does a
put
great
together
job.
a very homey, personal, massive event.
Yeah, and like we can talk about this. Obviously, there's a lot of chat about Christmas,
Yeah.
where they're going to have Christmas, and you and I didn't fully agree on Courtney this week, but
Yeah.
what we both can agree on is that I do love her commitment to not letting Christmas become too keeping up with the Kardashians.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Courtney frustrates me a lot. Like a lot of her bullshit drives me crazy. A lot of her smugness drives me crazy. But I do know that a lot of her shit comes from a really good place of wanting her kids to have a normal life. And I think that would be a constant struggle. I have no idea how I would handle that. I don't think I'd be a smug dickhead, but
No,
who knows?
sorry,
Maybe
no. I just gave Reagan a face that was like, maybe you would. I didn't mean.
Maybe
I
you
didn't
are.
mean it
Maybe
like...
you are a smug dickhead.
I do feel though that like this is kind of where we disagree. I feel like Courtney's problem isn't necessarily that she's wrong in her kind of conclusion, but that her delivery sucks. The way that she enters into conversations, like she won't even have a discussion about whether Kylie could host Christmas. It's like, no, I'm not doing it. It's not happening.
Well,
And I'm like, I get it.
I feel like she said she was fine if she wanted to host it. She just wouldn't go.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's not necessarily being totally like that's kind of taking your bat home, isn't it? A bit, but like,
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I do get it. It's important to her. I
Yeah.
just feel like she could engage in a conversation that was a little bit more open to hearing aside. Even if we all knew she was going to be like, nah, it's mine. She just is immediately like, no, I'm not doing it. Done.
Right. I mean, I think she could have skipped the no, not doing it done part to be like, hey, why don't we just all do it at our own houses? Because that's how it sounds like everybody wants to do it anyways. Like, she could have not put up that wall. She could have just gone right to like, well, why don't we just do it all at our own houses anyways? Because we all want to do it a different way. And that's fine.
And I think having kids makes you get to that point. Like, obviously, they've always done it together, but now for the first time, they really all have quite a lot of children.
Right.
And I think even, like, on my first experience, having kids made me go, do you know what? I actually want to wake up in my own house on Christmas morning.
Oh my gosh, just for the ease of it as well. Like, who wants to be hauling around, like, presents from Santa to somebody else's house to open and have to deal with, like, the kids not getting to open them right away? Like, no.
No, I'm with that. I think they came to exactly the right conclusion. That we were all at our own house, and then you were at mine for, like, brunch 9 or 10.
Yeah. Perfect.
The other thing, go on.
Go ahead. No, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the other thing that we saw a lot of was Scott this week, and I really love Scott. And I think I knew, but I forgot that he is an only child. So to lose both your parents and be an only child must be super devastating.
Well, and he lost them. They died in the same year, if I remember
3 months,
correctly.
3 months apart.
Like, fuck. Like, I have no idea how you handle that as an only child. I'm not an only child, so I can't really identify with any of that. But I do remember when I was having kids and I was thinking about if we only wanted one or we wanted to have two. And part of me was like, if something happens with us or we're just big asshole parents, like, I want my kid to have someone to go and complain to. You're like, what the fuck is going on with our parents?
I was 100% the same. Like, I essentially grew up an only child. I do have half brothers and sisters that are much older than me. I mean, we're close, but I never lived with them or anything like that. I'm the only one responsible for both my parents as a partnership.
Right.
And when we were thinking about having another kid, I was like, you know what? When we die, I want them to have somebody.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a part of it. It was actually a really big
Absolutely.
part of it.
Yeah.
So I really felt for Scott, and I love that he has Uncle Dave. I thought there was real pain when he was like at the dinner table and they started talking about it. Like, it just broke my heart for him, and he's a good guy.
He 100% is. And I'm really happy he has the Kardashians. Like,
me too.
They fulfill such a big role in his life and has given him all the siblings that you could ever want or need, like a load. But I also think they really identify with him. Like, they've lost a parent. And I think that's a really comfortable space for him that they can share kind of those, I don't want to say tricks of the trade, but like kind of the ways you need to deal with your grief and how you can start talking about your parents again. Because I couldn't imagine being the only one left with the knowledge of these two people on the planet, like other than your Uncle Dave and like their friends, but nobody else knows them as a parent. And, you know, and an early grandparent. And I think for, you know, his kids, they need to hear about his parents too, and not just be the Kardashians.
Yeah, and credit to them for like recognizing that Scott needed them. And they don't, you know, it's not just like one of them really likes him. They have all embraced him as a sibling. Chris has embraced him as a son. She's there for him when he's sick, bringing him chicken soup. Like, he's a lucky motherfucker, frankly, to have them. And they have really, really helped him. But I love, you know, I can speak for hours about how far Scott's come since Kardashians season 1. Do you know what I mean? Like, growth is always so impressive to see. And I love that he is in the place that he's in right now. Agreed.
We also saw Khloe try to be Chris's assistant in this episode.
Never gonna work.
Oh my gosh. Did you catch her say, like, I'm on top of that, Rose? Do you remember what that's from?
No, I don't remember what that's from, but I do.
It's Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. When when Christina Applegate goes to work for the fashion designer. That's what the fashion designer always has her say. I love that she said it. Like, I instantly took me back to my childhood.
It's like top of Jimmy's laminated list of people.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
I think she's pretty fit.
Yeah. Just
anyways.
An aside. New York. Real Housewives of New York.
Yes. It's Fashion Week.
Fucking Fashion Week.
I mean, that's really all that this episode is about.
Fucking Fashion Week. Ramona's throwing her weight about with her, like, what did you call her in the meeting? The Manners
I called her the Manners Gestapo. Always trying to tell everybody else how to behave.
She's just so bent out of shape about how everybody's like behaving. Tinsley gets it in the neck for like leaving a room a mess. Leah gets it in the neck for not turning up to an event. You know, all of this stuff.
Sonia gets in the neck for being on the phone during the fashion show where everybody had their phones out.
I know, and Dorinda tries to give it to Ramona for not sharing her voices. Obviously, you know me. I'm on Ramona's side. I don't share.
100%. No.
Get your own fucking voices.
However, yeah, you do get your own food, but I also don't order before everybody else on the table.
No, Ramona
like,
is
that was not
so
right.
Spectacularly narcissistic. Like the way that she's with the designer at the step and repeat and the other lady that she keeps just kicking out. I mean, it's just so.
Or the photographer, like, put down your amazing camera and grab my old ass cell phone and take a picture for my Instagram. Fuck off.
And then Luann wandering backstage to get her hair blowed out because, I mean, they're all just.
That guy was so annoyed with her. Like, the one doing her hair, he was just like doing everything he could to keep it together for the camera.
Unbearable. But that aside, we did get some proper chat. Like we learn a lot more about Leah in this episode.
Absolutely.
And the reason she's not at the fashion show is, of course, because her mum is desperately upset, like can't talk to her because she's realized that Leah is now drinking again.
Well, Leah tells her that she's had a drink, right? Which I do like, I get. I pointed out it's a really interesting dynamic at this lunch with all the girls where all like the older women are like, I don't tell my mom shit. Like, we don't have that relationship. But all the younger girls are like, I tell my mom everything. Like, why wouldn't I do it that way? And I think it's a real interesting generational shift with parents, because I guarantee you Hannah tells Dorinda everything. But Dorinda would never tell her mom any of that shit. Like, I just think it's an interesting dynamic.
It's funny. But I think what I found about this conversation was, I know that we'd had a conversation previously about whether she was sober, like in recovery, or whether she was just not, like had chosen to not drink or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel that Leah has really been downplaying this drinking thing. And I feel like the reactions of her mum and the reaction of her baby daddy, which is the term I hate, like Rob, her husband, her kid's father, let's call it that, makes me think that actually this is a bigger deal and that actually Leah needs to be on the wagon.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I definitely agree with you that this episode brings up a lot of questions about her drinking, because I agree with you. I feel like not as many people would be reacting this way if it was just like an okay thing. Like, it's fine if she could just have a drink or two and it'll be fine. Like, I don't think she's that type of drinker. Like, I think if she's going to have one, she's going to have 50.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
And I think Rob says, I just don't want it to affect Kiki. And I just feel like there is a little bit more to the drinking story than Leah has initially been.
Interesting.
And I don't know whether it's because she's in denial or whether it's because she genuinely believes that it's not a problem. But I feel like we find out she hasn't been drinking for 9 years, and this is her drink. Like, 9 years is a significant period of time.
Absolutely. So like since her kid was 3, right? Like, isn't her kid 12?
I think something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like if your mum is that devastated that you're back on the booze, and the father of your child comes to see you and is worried about it.
Yeah.
I just think that there's something a little more. Time will tell. I mean, that the party in the Hamptons, we've all done it. Maybe not everybody listening, but
we have.
Like you and me,
Definitely.
we've all done it. We've
Absolutely.
done that. That in itself isn't enough for me to go, she needs to be on the wagon.
Right.
But I'm interested to see how this develops throughout the season.
I would agree with you. I didn't take it so much to heart when her mom was doing that, because I was like, well, maybe there's just some like weird mom power play. But when Rob was like, dude, no.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh shit, maybe there is something a little bit more, because I don't see there needing to be a power play between the two of them. So
and
I think it'll
be immediately cried.
Yeah.
Like, it was a really emotional thing for her. So I'm just here to say, none of my predictions have come true, by the way, that I've made really at all through this. But,
Ever.
I'm here to say that I think there's more. We'll see.
Interesting. Well, maybe we can write a blog about it, see if there's some sleuthing to be done.
We can.
But
and
yeah.
Sonia and Leah and the whole outfit gate.
Sonia did wrong. Like, I was really trying to think. I was like, when I was watching the episode, she did say she sent dresses. She said she sent it nice bag, and Leah was like, no, it's like on a ripped up like paper bag. Part of me wonders if one of the inept interns just fucked a bunch of shit up. But actually, I'm now leaning more towards like Sonia was just trying to fuck her off.
Oh, I mean, listen, Sonia was being shady as shit.
Yeah.
I think Sonia's too ditzy to be like conniving.
Right, she's not an evil mastermind.
She's not evil. There's nothing masterminding at all about Sonia. But I do think she, in the moment, decided to cause some shit. I mean, Leah sent her pictures of dresses that she would have liked to wear. She sent everybody else a couple of outfits to choose from. She sends Leah one grey tracksuit. I mean,
with a pink hat and those sunglasses?
Nobody's going to wear a grey tracksuit to Fashion Week. I mean,
come on. Even if it's cashmere, you're gonna stay at home. Like, you're not wearing that outside to Fashion Week.
No, it's called loungewear for a reason.
It's Corona wear. It's Corona wear.
Oh my god, I'm so into my Corona wear. It's not cashmere, let me tell you. So I 100% think that Sonia was being shady as fucking shit.
However, I love the way Sonia like plays it off. How she goes and puts on the outfit and starts prancing around her own fashion show in the outfit, and Leah's just like, I can't even be mad at her because she's so ridiculous.
She looks like a pimp in pajamas.
Yeah. So I guess if
That's it.
you're gonna be shady and you end it that way, like, I'm okay with that.
And I think that's Sonia's vibe. Like, she'll do something shady, but then she'll like take it a little bit on herself.
I'd love to hang out with Sonia. I think it would be a blast.
She wouldn't like me. I've got way too many tattoos for her.
She'd just give you shit about him. But she would only do it through somebody else. She would never tell you she had a problem with it. She would tell Ramona about it, and Ramona would give you shit.
Yeah, true. Oh, now I'm friends with them all. This is excellent.
Ah! All right.
Finally, on to Shahs, which again is another season finale. This is kind of breaking my heart a little bit, and I think we're gonna let's start with the sip and see. Obviously, MJ lost her baby shower because she was on bed rest, so couldn't do that. So instead, she decided to do the sip and see, which looks beautiful.
Oh, it was amazing.
Crazy over the top, but beautiful.
Yeah.
Obviously, Reza and Adam can't come because the restraining order is still in place. Gigi would rather get her teeth cleaned, and Mike decides that despite everything being okay in Hawaii after the whole Paulina thing, he's now not okay with it.
Yeah, I don't agree with Mike's decision on this at all. I feel like Mike is starting more shit.
Yeah, Mike's a fucking child. He's an
overgrown
child.
You said it was fine. You go. There are things that you do for your.
It's not about you. It's about the fucking baby.
Right. And kind of a celebration of she lost her dad last year. She's named this kid Shams after her father. You show up. You've known these people for ages. Like Reza, I understand why he's not there. He legally can't be. But, Mike should have been there. And I even get why Gigi wasn't there. Gigi's kind of a dick. I didn't expect her to go. But
well, I'm thinking that Mike's kind of a dick as well. He's just a child, and I feel like he loves the chance to sit on his high horse and make everybody else seem like they're in the wrong. And actually, it wasn't the time or the place to make a stand. And Nima calls it. I am loving Nima. Where I was with Jay Cutler?
Yep.
I'm kind of there. I haven't had a dream about Nima yet, but I feel like it's coming.
It's coming. Maybe after this episode.
Maybe. And talking of Nima, obviously, we get to see so much more of him. And I just love how honest and raw he's being about this, because it must be really fucking hard.
I mean, when he explains his childhood, there are a lot of things that are explained about Nima that we've seen in the past that is completely explained by his parents' divorce and how traumatic it seems and how distant he feels from his mom and his sister and all this. But at the lunch with his half sister, because she's just graduated high school, I love the way his dad, because he's being so open and vulnerable, his dad opens up. And I really think we're going to see some things be fixed between them.
I really hope so. I hope that, because at the end of the day, regardless of whether his parents say sorry or not, that was probably really shit for them too. It probably did them a lot of damage.
It sounds horrific.
They made shitty decisions.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it wasn't damaging for them.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I think what Nima's realizing is that if he's waiting for an apology or an explanation that clears it all up, he's not going to get it. Yeah. And actually, he has to decide whether he can forgive and let go. And we hear him say that he does forgive. And I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, hope that is a point that that's right, that's true, and that he can move on to find a lovely, maybe British woman to have
with 2 children,
really beautiful,
who's gone through a divorce,
children with.
Would you have more children?
I mean, there's a lot of factors that have to depend on it. Jimmy would have to be out of the picture. I'd have to find love with a man who desperately wanted kids, who didn't have any. I mean, if Jimmy died tomorrow and I met somebody who was the second love of my life.
Right.
I always have to remember that Jimmy edits this.
Yeah.
If he was the second love of my life and he didn't have kids, but he really, really wanted kids, maybe I'd do it again.
Yeah, I don't think I would. I think I'm done having kids.
In an ideal world, the guy I end up with wouldn't want any more kids, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've got friends who've been divorced, said they wouldn't have any more kids, and find this guy they're like so in love, and it's the right one, and they want to have a baby together and never thought they would. So I think never say never.
Yeah,
never,
I mean, knowing
never.
from my own experiences with having children and the stuff I went through with my kids, I would not have any more kids.
Yeah, well, you had like physically you had really difficult pregnancies and births. Like my pregnancies and births physically weren't awful. Emotionally and mentally, I was a fucking basket case. So obviously you take all that into account, but
right.
I mean,
also our age.
Yeah, I mean, listen, probably not.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a weird tangent. We can stop right there.
But if Nema's asking.
But for Nema, you'd have more kids if he was open to that.
Well, hang on, you have to remember Jay Cutler's now single, so there's another option there.
I don't think he would want more kids. He's already got 3.
I don't know.
And you'd have to deal with Kristen Cavallari. That could be a very...
It would be so amicable. We'd be friends.
I don't know if that's the way their divorce is going. But maybe we'll talk about that at a later time. Anyways, back to Shahs. So, yes, we see Nema and his dad getting all back together. We also see Mike and his parents, and his mom finally tells him that she's proud of him.
Well, he seems to be pulling off this kind of construction project, so... We'll just wait and see. I mean, with Mike, I just feel he's always quite a lot of fart and no poo. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need to see that building up and sold before I'm really...
Yeah, it looks like he's hired a good contractor who's keeping him in the loop and really busting shit out. So maybe he's found the right person to actually do the work and keep Mike in the loop so he doesn't have to. So we'll see kind of what happens with that.
And of course, finally, we can't leave without finishing up.
Sarah having a party again.
Sarah having a party. It's like deja vu, and
it really bookends the season.
It really bookends the season. But I have to say, out of everything, despite everything we've been through and all the shitty things everybody's done, the person who comes out of this the worst is fucking Adam.
100%.
I am so angry with him. Because let's not forget, at one point when they're doing the fucking pottery course, he's like, we wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for MJ and Tommy. No, you wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for you fucking around on text, sending irresponsible, inappropriate text to people you shouldn't fucking be texting. That's what started this.
And I'm really angry that he does not take ownership of this, that he puts it off on everybody else. And it's like, dude, you did wrong. Like, let Reza have his friend. I also don't understand why Reza doesn't explain to Adam, like, look, we know what headspace Tommy was in. I was in that headspace with Ali. Ali didn't put a restraining order on me, and I'm glad he didn't, because that would have been a bad move. Like,
I feel like Reza, I think it's really shitty for Adam to put this on Reza in light of how this all started.
Yeah.
I agree. I wish Reza would turn around to Adam and say, look, I love you and we're over it, but you have to remember why and where this started. None of this would have been an issue if it wasn't for the situation you put us in. I'm over it, but now we have to let this all go.
Right.
I understand why he's not doing that, and I think it comes down to this traditional kind of Persian culture of he is my husband, and therefore I stand by him. Like, I think that's where Reza is. I don't think he's right to do it.
Yeah.
But I do think it comes from that belief that I have to, like, essentially he's in a position where he has to choose between his husband and MJ. And that's a shit position to be in.
No.
I mean,
I think on that aspect, I understand, like, Adam doesn't want him to do this. So, like, he's there. But I would tell you, the way I see their relationship, thinking about traditional Persian roles, Reza's the alpha in that relationship. Yeah. Like, I'm kind of surprised that Reza's like, dude, no, we're not going to do it that way. You were in the wrong. I mean, because that's the way he's handled things in the past. Now, maybe that's why we see him doing it a different way, because he's really trying to make this relationship work. But I feel like this is a fight you fight.
I agree. I think for a 30-year relationship, you do. And I think MJ says that. She's like, give me credit for the 30 years.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that all of this could be fixed if Adam wasn't being a dick.
Yeah.
And actually, Adam needs to fucking grow some balls and do the right thing and own his shit. And I also think as soon as Adam said this to Razor and said, I don't want to lift the restraining order, I think Razor should have called MJ and said, look,
Yes.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm
This
stuck.
is the situation that I'm in.
Right.
I love you, and I know that I have said this stuff to you. And maybe I was too quick to say that without fully discussing it with Adam. But Adam is really not okay with this, and I don't know what to do. And I think this is the problem. Nobody fucking picks up the phone and talks to each other.
Well, I think that's the problem. And I'm not going to leave MJ out of having some sort of responsibility for this because I feel like she's all or nothing. Like, they are going to drop the felony charges. I think they could work out the restraining order stuff. If like MJ was willing to be like, okay, like where do we go from here? Like, how can we make this better? But like, she's very like, it's all or nothing.
I mean, the other thing is she hasn't apologized to Adam.
Yeah.
Like, her and Adam haven't had a conversation.
Well, Adam won't, will he?
As far as we know, Tommy
Yeah.
hasn't apologized to Adam or to Razor. So I feel like there's a lot of things that a lot of them could do
Totally.
to actually fix this. I do think if that restraining order stays in place, that friendship is untenable. I mean,
Yeah.
if your husband had a restraining order against me, like, that would
I'd
be
still hang out with
something.
you.
I mean, I'm not sure I'd hang out with you.
I mean, we'd
it's
still go
hard,
to the
right?
pub and have drinks, but no.
But it would be there. It would
Yeah.
be something between you. But I think Adam can fix this, and I think he should fix this because he fucked it up in the first place.
I agree.
So that's
the
us
end.
for this week.
It is. We will have some reunions. I don't know when they are yet. We haven't had any announcements of them yet. Maybe the Real Housewives will be this Sunday. I don't think so. It's not on my recording list. So whenever these reunions come out about these seasons, we will cover them for you in our minisodes.
That's true. We are planning another minisode. We're going to record it tomorrow on the Netflix show Too Hot to Handle. So that will be out. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a perfect mindless lockdown chat. We'll be here for that. So we'll let you know when that's out. And of course, don't forget that our new website is up and running, tvmyhusbandhates.com. Go and check it out.
I think that's it for us. So you guys have a great week. Remember, smart people watch reality TV too, and keep on keeping on during quarantine. We're here for you.
Dig deep, guys. Dig deep. We're here. We'll see you on the flip side. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Please subscribe, rate, and review TV My Husband Hates wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at TV My Husband Hates and join the Facebook group to keep the conversation going when the podcast ends. If Twitter's your thing, you'll find us at TV Husbands Hate. Theme music and production for TV My Husband Hates by Jimmy Sims.